Hello, Kia. Time. Time. I have no time. I think there's a Doctor Who bit where he's screaming about time. I don't know. I'm quite delirious from exhaustion. A few addendums, a few things that need to be pointed out for this vlog. I've been told that for What the Folk, for that series where we've just been talking about giants, that I should have kind of thrown up pictures and done, like, I don't know, maybe art or other things. For the most recent one, like the games that giants play, I can't remember what I called it, I did actually collect a few images that I found that I wanted to put up, and then I thought that I would put up on this vlog, say like, hey, here's that picture of this. I had a picture of the stone which had the Celtic and Christian cross. I can't remember the name of the saint, but it was Moll Welbeck. She was the giantess who threw the stone into Clowes Church. I had a picture of Merlin kind of being the foreman to a giant, the tapestry I think I mentioned, and just also pictures of hills, stuff that I wanted to draw. I didn't actually get around to drawing it because I have no time. I want to put it on here, but I can't because there's editing and there's no time. And then, so that's what I wanted to say about the What the Folk series. Another thing, I don't know, I guess apologise for not having the time to do the vlog, the audio, the rewatch podcast, not having time to do that. I heartily apologise. We'll get around to it as soon as we can. It's annoying that it's this one that we're struggling to do because it's like the end of season 1A, and if we could just kind of get that one, then we can take a hiatus and that would be fine. But no, it has to be the one right before the end. And then a response to your previous vlog, you were talking about Howard? No, names escape me. But he was the author of the Enders series. What I was originally going to say was, it's like, no, that's a silly notion that you don't want to read that book. It's completely understandable that you don't want your money to in turn be used to fund these kind of pretty nasty charities, but say in England, Oxfam, they do lots of bookshops. Go to an Oxfam, buy a book there, buy the end of the series there, and then you're giving to a charity that maybe you like. I buy books from there quite a bit. The author's getting no money. You're basically choosing where your money goes. So I would just say that you're being silly. You should go and buy a book from an alternate source, get it for free somewhere, and then kind of the idea that money's going where you don't want it to is out of the question. But then I kind of realised that I've kind of done the same thing. I still think that if I could find a way to not give the money to the author, I would go about it. Say I saw it in a charity shop, I would probably pick up the book and read through it and hopefully enjoy it. But then I thought, maybe I wouldn't. It's a really awkward story for me because it kind of... I think it might paint me in a bad light. I saw this book. It was a book on folklore, Shropshire folklore, which is, you know, what I'm wanting to research, get into, make videos on. But I was looking through it and I saw like a letter from the editor or just like their profile, and I saw the picture and I recognised her, and I just knew that I didn't like her. Somehow. I couldn't remember who she was at all, or what she did, or why I didn't like her. But I just knew that I recognised the face and that something about her was wrong, and even to this day, this happened weeks, months ago, and I've just been kind of thinking about it. I can't remember who she was, what she did, but I just have it in my mind that I don't like her because of something that she did. I have no idea. And just thinking about that, I have been thinking about it. And there's been no prompts, and it's kind of been taking on me maybe just the fact that I can't remember, but just thinking if I was reading through her book, even if I kind of got money from, well, put my money elsewhere, gave it to a charity, would I be reading that book and thinking, I don't like this person? Would it kind of distract from reading the book? It could be an excellent book, just like the Ender's Game, rather, are apparently like really good books. But if you're reading it and all you can think of is that it was penned by someone who you have a dislike for, then that's going to ruin the experience, and you're just going to be wasting time, which we don't have! Sorry, that was needlessly energetic. But yes, I understand where you're coming from. I think it's... Well, actually, no, I don't think it's legitimate, and I think it's still very, very silly. I think I'm being very silly as well. But I understand. I can understand. I can empathise completely. I know exactly where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from, and it's silly. Okay, on to the next thing. So we've done the vlog series, we've done the apology, we've done your vlog. I can't... a question for you, I guess. Something to pose to you, or something to talk on other than me complaining about all of the things that I'm doing. I could run down a list. It's long and boring. But time, subject of time. I wish I had more time. I kind of thought if there were 3 more hours of the day, then I could, you know, use the first 2 to actually get a decent set amount of time to sleep, and then that 1 extra hour on top of the 2 hours of sleep, I could be productive and I could do things. I could make a proper vlog which I could edit, and not just do this. So, from a literary sense, how do you think best fits subject of time travel? Because there are so many different kind of ideas. Usually, I don't know, use the movie method. The movies are coming to mind. I just can't remember. I can't relay all of the different time traveling aspects, but you know them. You can talk about them at length. Have there been changes into the more popular theories of time travel? Has a theory kind of become more predominant than the others, and as such become more kind of the accepted thing to put into literature, to put into films? What's good? What's not? And if you were to write a book or write something on time travel or with a time travel element, what do you think you would choose, and why? Why do you think it's the best? Even if you think it's the least plausible or the least likely to happen. I don't know, just explore into time travel. What would you use in a literary sense? What do you believe might be possible in a scientific sense? Just have at it. Talk about time. Be a bit less rambly than me. I'll see your response next week, and hopefully we'll be working on other stuff up until then. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.